read my learning target in purple? Dominic, no thank you. You can read my learning target in purple down at the bottom. How about Jaden Holloway? Go ahead, Jaden.
I can describe a chart by using key notes from the story.
Good. You're close. I can describe a character. A character by using key details from the story. So we've been working on describing characters. And last week we read Skippy John Jones and the Big Bones. And yesterday we tried to find something in the book to prove what kind of character he was. Does anybody remember what we call this? What were we looking for in the story to prove the kind of character that Skippy John Jones was? I did this when I said the word. Molly, do you remember? What do we call this?
Textual evidence.
Good job. Like a detective who has evidence. It's textual evidence. Text is a book or words. So it's textual evidence. And it tells us what the character does or thinks or says, right? The textual evidence. So I brought a news story with me today. But before we get started, let's talk about what we want to learn. Okay. So remember, boys and girls, that we talked about how sometimes there's something called a standard, and it's a really big thing that we should learn by the end of first grade. But we're not going to do it all in one day. Our big idea is to describe characters, settings, and major events in a story using key details. But that's a lot to learn in one day. So today, we're just going to look at the red part, And the red part says, describe characters using key details. That sounds a lot like our learning target. Describe characters using key details. So Mrs. Kauker rewrote it into something that we can understand a lot better. And it says, I will describe a character by using key details from the story. Let's all read it together. Ready? I will describe a character by using key details from the story. Very good, boys and girls. Well, let's talk about some of this vocabulary here and make sure we understand what we're going to do. What is a character? If we're going to do this learning target, we need to know all the words that are in it. What is a character? What is a character, Missy? Go ahead.
It's a person that is in the story a lot, the main character.
A character is a person, or it can be an animal in a story. You're exactly right, Missy. A person or animal in the story. What about a key detail? What's a key detail? We've talked about these a lot. Let's remind ourselves. What is a key detail? Jaden Holloway.
When you open the book, and you can probably
and mostly books. And you open it, it key felts on the side, on the floor, on the top.
I'm not sure about maybe. But when we're talking about key details like in our learning target today, a key detail is that textual evidence that helps you to understand a story. A key detail is textual evidence and helps you understand the story. Okay? So we want to describe a character, a person or an animal, using that key detail, which is textual evidence. Okay? Okay. Well, how are we going to describe our character? Everybody, how are we going to describe them? Using textual evidence. Textual evidence is how we're going to describe our character. Okay? So when we're listening to this next story that I brought, I want you to be listening for some textual evidence to describe our character. So I brought this really fun book with me today. It's called Olivia. Olivia. Have you guys read this book before? Give me a green check mark if you've ever read Olivia. This is one of my favorites. Some of you have. Good. I'm glad to hear that. This book won an award for its pictures. It won an award called a Caldecott Award. A Caldecott Award is given to books that have great pictures. And I think you're going to see why this one won some awards. Okay, so let's listen. I have some of the pages in my PowerPoint, but then I don't have enough, so I actually have the book, so I'm going to read it to you this way. So Bo will start it on the screen so that you can see it maybe a little bit better, okay? Olivia, written and illustrated by Ian Falconer. This is Olivia. She is good at lots of things. She is very good at wearing people out. She even wears herself out. Olivia has a little brother named Ian. He is always copying. Sometimes Ian just won't leave her alone, so Olivia has to be firm. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay. Olivia lives with her mother, her father, her brother, her dog Perry, and Edwin the cat. Whoops. Okay. So this is where Mrs. Kauker left off. I didn't have any more pages, so let's keep reading. I'm going to pull it off the page. I'm going to make my video big so that you can see. Look. Okay. So I'll hold the pictures up close so you can see. So, and Edwin the cat, we learned. In the morning, after she gets up and moves the cat and brushes her teeth and combs her ears and moves the cat, Olivia gets dressed. She has to try on everything. On sunny days, Olivia likes to go to the beach. She feels it's important to come prepared. Last summer, when Olivia was little, her mother showed her how to make sandcastles. I'm going to try this. She got pretty good. sandcastle she built. Sometimes Olivia likes to bask in the sun. When her mother sees that she's had enough, they go home. Every day, Olivia is supposed to take a nap. It's time for your you-know-what, her mother says. Of course, Olivia is not sleepy at all. On rainy days, Olivia likes to go to the museum. She heads straight for her favorite picture. Olivia looks at it for a long time. What could she be thinking? There's no words on this page, but I think it answered our question. But there is one painting Olivia just doesn't get. I could do that in about 5 minutes, she said to her mother. As soon as she gets home, she gives it a try. Her mom doesn't look too happy. Time out. After a nice bath and a nice dinner, it's time for bed. But of course, Olivia's not at all sleepy. Only 5 books tonight, Mommy, she says. No, Olivia, just 1. How about 4? 2, 3? Oh, all right, 3. But that's it. When they've finished reading, Olivia's mother gives her a kiss and says, "You know, you really wear me out, but I love you anyway." And Olivia gives her a kiss back and says, "I love you anyway, too." And there she is dreaming. Looks like she's dreaming about being what's on the front cover of the book over here. The end. Okay. Well, what did you guys think of that book? Give me a green check mark if you liked that book, Olivia. You like that story, Olivia? Okay, well now we have a job to do. Now that we've read the story, Olivia, we need to the character. So what character do you think that I'm going to describe? What character should we describe in this story? What do you think? Delaney?
Olivia.
Oh, don't call out. Go ahead, Delaney.
Olivia.
Yeah, I think we're going to describe Olivia. She was the main character. So we're going to describe her by using key details. And remember, a key detail is just textual evidence that helps us to understand the story. So do you remember when we talked about character traits and words that describe a character? We said they could be friendly or fun or funny, adventurous, brave, bossy, cheerful. All those words. It could be any word that describes a character. So we're going to use some of these words to describe Olivia. And I thought of the words already for us, but we need to find the textual evidence that helps support that. So here's my chart I brought with me today. And at the very top, I wrote Olivia because she's the character that we are going to describe. She's the character we're going to describe. Okay? So let's talk about Olivia and the words that we picked to describe her. Can you guys get out your reading journals? Get out your reading journals and give me a green check mark when you have them. When you have your reading journal, give me a green check mark. You need a pencil too. We're going to do some writing in our journals today. We're going to do some writing together. Okay, good. I'm glad to see that you guys have your journals. Okay, turn to your next clean page so that we can write about Olivia. Okay. Now remember, I said that I need to use textual evidence to describe Olivia. Okay, I want to use those key details. The first word that I chose to describe Olivia, I'm going to do this one by myself. Since I know I've done this before, you just watch and you see what we're going to do to help describe Olivia, okay? So I said Olivia was full of energy. Mrs. Kauker's going to do this one. I need to find some textual evidence that tells how is Olivia full of energy? Did I make it up? Did I make up that Olivia was full of energy? Well, I better go back in my book and see how she was full of energy. So I'm going to open up my book and I'm going to go to the part that I think describes how she was full of energy. It said on this page right here, the very second page, she is very good at wearing people out. She is very good at wearing people out. I think that that tells me that Olivia is full of energy because she wears people out. I found it in the book. I found the textual evidence. So I'm going to put she wears. I'm going to make my words smaller. I'm not going to fit it all there here. Okay, let's try that again. She wears people out. Very good. That is one piece of textual evidence that tells that Olivia is full of energy. But I think there was more that I heard in the story about why I think she's full of energy. It says she even wears herself out. She even wears herself out. If she wears herself out, she's full of energy. I'm going to add that. She wears herself out. She wears herself out. So she wears other people out. She wears herself out. I wonder if there's any more things that tell me that she is full of energy. Well, I do remember that her mom always wanted her to take a nap, but she didn't like taking a nap, so that would mean she has energy. Let me see if that would be some textual evidence. It says, every day Olivia is supposed to take a nap. It's time for your you-know-what, her mother says. But of course, Olivia is not sleepy. So she won't take a nap. That's some more textual evidence that she's full of energy. She won't take a nap. I found 3 things in the book that tell me that Olivia is full of energy. I think that's some pretty good textual evidence to help describe Olivia. Let's go to our next word, and you guys are going to do this in your journals with me. We're going to work together on this one. I thought that Olivia was pretty independent. Independent means that she can do things by herself. She can do things by herself without any help. So I need to find some textual evidence that would prove that Olivia is independent. She can do things by herself. Can you guys help me with this? What do you guys remember about Olivia that would say that she was independent? She could do things by herself. Do you remember any parts of the book? Let me turn to a page and I'll show you a part that I thought might help us out. Maybe I'll turn to it here. Hold on. No, not on this part. Never mind. It's on the page that doesn't show anymore. So here is some things. Anybody want to help me out? Castilla, what would be something that would tell me that Olivia is independent?
Can I go back the book?
Of course, Castilla. That's what good readers do. Let me make it big for you. Let's use that textual evidence. Make it really big. So what do you think, Castilla?
She brushes her teeth.
Good job, Castilla. Ooh, it makes me so happy that you asked to go back to the book. That's what good readers do. So yes, she brushes her teeth by herself. So she brushes her teeth. That tells me she's pretty independent. What else makes her independent? Jada, mute your microphone, please. What else makes her independent? How about Missy? Go ahead, Missy.
When she was at the museum, she saw a picture of the paint, and when she went home, she did it.
Ooh, you know what? I think we're going to use that. I think that does describe something about Missy, and we're going to use that. But we're going to put that over here as that she was creative. Do you think that would fit over here? She was creative?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to put that she likes to do art. Let's put that over to that it describes her being creative. So Olivia likes to do her own art. Likes to do art. Okay, good. Well, let's go back to independent. What else makes makes Olivia independent? Maya.
She chooses her clothes.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. Remember here where she chose all her own clothes? She tried on all the different outfits. Yeah, she chose her own clothes. So I'm going to say she gets dressed by her, or she chooses her own clothes. She chooses her own clothes and gets dressed. There was one more that we might not have heard, and it also said when she brushed her teeth that she also combed her ears. Just like you comb your hair, pigs must comb their ears. So I'm going to add that to independent. She combs her ears. Okay. So did we write these things in our journal? Sorry, I forgot to tell you to. Maybe pick one of those and write it. She brushes her teeth. Can you put that in your journal that proves that she is independent? She brushes her teeth. She chooses her own clothes and gets dressed. And she combs her ears. Combs her ears. Very good. We're really describing Olivia well. Let's do this one together. Creative. Missy got us started. I think that a good word that describes Olivia is that she's creative, but I can't make it up. I need to have textual evidence that proves that she is creative. And Missy got us started. She likes to do her own art. How else was Olivia creative? How else was Olivia creative? Raise your hand if you can help me out. How else was Olivia creative?
She made that scene and she put it on her to scare her brother.
Ooh, that was a good idea. I didn't even think of that one. That's right. She put on that mask to scare her brother. Remember that? That's pretty creative. Remember when she did that? She didn't want her brother bothering her? Definitely. Let's put that. So she made a scary mask to scare her brother. Very good. She makes a scary mask to scare. She made a scary mask. Very good. How else is Olivia creative? Jalen.
Are you quiet?
Microphone.
Up at the same.
Go ahead, Jalen.
Well,
Get your. Go ahead, Jalen. How else was Olivia creative?
she did build the castle by herself.
Ooh, I remember that part. Do you guys remember that? That is true. She built that big sandcastle. Let me turn to that page. Remember her mom taught her how to make a sandcastle, and look at what she made. I'd say that's pretty creative. So she built a sandcastle. Let's add that to our paper. Let's do it together. Ready? She built a sand castle. She built a sand castle. Very good. So she likes to do art. She made a scary mask, and she built a sand castle. She built a sand castle. Very good. You know what? Let's also add that she liked to go to the art museum. Remember on rainy days, she liked to go to the art museum? And if you like to go to the art museum, you're probably pretty creative. So she likes the art museum. She likes the art museum. That is another reason that I think that Olivia was creative. So she likes to do art. She made a scary castle. And she likes the art museum. We thought of 4 things that time. Wow, we're finding so much textual evidence to describe our character Olivia. That's great. Now, I want to see how you can do this. I want to see how you can describe Olivia. My last word is that she has a good imagination. She has a good imagination. So I wanted to see if you guys could tell me how Olivia has a good imagination. Can you think of textual evidence that describes how Olivia has a good imagination? I'm going to put it up on the board. Hold on. And I want you to write it for me. You're going to do this one by yourself. We did the other 3 together. Okay? So how does Olivia have a good imagination? I want you to shout out. Mute your microphone. I want you to type your answer to me.
Tell, I need you, I
Mute your
need you.
microphone,
Take my
Jalen.
answers to her.
Okay. Students, I want you to do this one. Okay, how does Olivia have a good imagination? You can type it in that box. What would you do? How would you add it? How would you add it to our chart? How does Olivia have a good imagination? I want you to add it. But you're going to put it down at the bottom in that poll, in that box. I'm going to give you a minute to think about it and type it. You only have to tell me one. Tell me one piece of textual evidence that reminds you that she had a good imagination. You're not writing your name. You're typing me. How does Olivia have a good imagination? Give me some textual evidence. Type it in that box, okay? I'm going to give you guys a minute to do that.